Dark Triad of personality traits, using NICCOLÒ Machiavelli as a central figure for understanding Machiavellianism, as well as how it intersects with narcissism and psychopathy. The Dark Triad and NICCOLÒ Machiavelli, a philosophical exploration. The human psyche is complex, and its darker aspects often reveal themselves in the manipulation, self-interest, and lack of empathy that some individuals exhibit. These behaviors are collectively known as the Dark Triad, which consists of Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy. Though these traits are often seen as harmful and destructive, they offer significant insight into the darker corners of human nature and behavior. The figure of NICCOLÒ Machiavelli, the Renaissance diplomat and philosopher, is perhaps the most iconic symbol of Machiavellianism, a central trait within the Dark Triad. His work, particularly The Prince, is often seen as a manual for political manipulation and strategy. By examining Machiavelli's ideas through the lens of the Dark Triad, we can better understand the nature of power, manipulation, and the moral compromises individuals make in their pursuit of control. The Dark Triad consists of three interrelated but distinct personality traits: Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy. Machiavellianism is characterized by manipulation, strategic planning, and a cynical view of human nature. Individuals with high levels of Machiavellianism are often skilled at deception and are driven by self-interest, with a focus on gaining power and control at any cost. This trait is named after NICCOLÒ Machiavelli, whose political writings, particularly The Prince, advocate for the strategic use of deceit and manipulation in leadership. Narcissism involves a sense of superiority, grandiosity, and an overwhelming need for admiration and validation. Narcissistic individuals often see themselves as special and entitled, believing they deserve special treatment and admiration. While they may not engage in the same level of manipulation as Machiavellians, they share an intense self-focus and lack of concern for others' needs. Psychopathy is marked by a lack of empathy, impulsivity, and a tendency to engage in antisocial behavior without regard for consequences. Psychopaths often display shallow emotions and have difficulty forming genuine emotional connections. Unlike Machiavellians, who engage in calculated manipulation, psychopaths are more likely to act impulsively, disregarding the well-being of others. Though these traits are distinct, they often overlap in practice. Individuals with high levels of Machiavellianism may also exhibit narcissistic tendencies, seeking power and validation, while some psychopathic traits, such as a lack of empathy, can further fuel manipulative behavior. NICCOLÒ Machiavelli, the architect of Machiavellianism. NICCOLÒ Machiavelli, 1469 to 1527, is perhaps one of the most controversial figures in political philosophy. His most famous work, The Prince, is often considered a treatise on how to gain and maintain political power through any means necessary. The book advises rulers to be ruthless and cunning, suggesting that it is better to be feared than loved, and that a prince must be willing to manipulate, deceive, and even betray in order to preserve his rule. This pragmatic, albeit morally dubious, advice has led many to associate Machiavelli with the darker aspects of human behavior. Machiavelli's ideas reflect what we now understand as Machiavellianism, the personality trait defined by cunning, strategic manipulation, and a lack of concern for morality. Machiavelli himself, however, was not necessarily advocating for a cruel or evil approach to leadership. Rather, he was exposing the harsh realities of political life during a time of constant warfare and political intrigue in Italy. For Machiavelli, the goal of maintaining political stability and power justified the means used to achieve it. In this sense, Machiavellianism can be seen as a pragmatic response to the unpredictable and often dangerous nature of political life. However, Machiavelli's work has been widely interpreted as an endorsement of manipulation and deceit. His famous dictum, "The ends justify the means," has become a symbol of moral relativism, where actions are judged solely by their outcomes, regardless of the methods used to achieve them. This view is central to the Dark Triad, as it reflects the willingness to disregard ethical concerns in favor of self-interest. The Dark Triad in the modern world. While Machiavellianism can be traced back to Machiavelli's time, it remains a significant force in modern society. Political leaders, business executives, and even individuals in personal relationships may adopt Machiavellian strategies to gain influence and control. The Machiavellian trait is particularly evident in individuals who view others as mere tools to be manipulated for personal gain. Narcissism, as a parallel trait, often coexists with Machiavellianism in the pursuit of power. Narcissistic leaders may share the Machiavellian focus on power and control, but are primarily motivated by a need for admiration and validation. Unlike Machiavellians, who view others as expendable assets, narcissists often seek admiration and the reinforcement of their inflated self-image. This combination of traits can lead to a highly toxic form of leadership that is both manipulative and self-centered. Psychopathy, while distinct from Machiavellianism, also shares some common ground with it. Psychopaths may lack the long-term strategic planning of Machiavellians, but exhibit the same cold, unemotional detachment from the well-being of others. Impulsive and often reckless behavior of psychopaths can complement the more calculated manipulation of Machiavellians, making them formidable and dangerous individuals. In the political arena, leaders who display a mix of these traits may be particularly effective in consolidating power and controlling others. The Dark Triad traits, when combined, create a personality that is both strategic and ruthless, capable of achieving goals with little regard for morality or human cost. Conclusion: NICCOLÒ Machiavelli's legacy is inseparable from the concept of Machiavellianism and the broader Dark Triad. While Machiavelli's work was a product of its time, reflecting the cutthroat nature of Renaissance politics, it continues to serve as a touchstone for understanding the darker side of human behavior. The Dark Triad, Machiavellianism, Narcissism, and Psychopathy represents the manipulative, self-centered, and often destructive forces within human nature. Whether in politics, business, or personal relationships, these traits remain a powerful influence, shaping the dynamics of power and control in the modern world. Ultimately, the study of Machiavellianism and the Dark Triad invites us to confront uncomfortable truths about human nature and the lengths to which individuals may go to achieve their goals. While Machiavelli himself may not have been a villain, his ideas have become emblematic of the darker, more manipulative aspects of leadership and power. The question remains, in a world where power is often achieved through manipulation and deceit, is it possible to maintain morality? Or is the end always destined to justify the means? If you found this exploration of power, psychology, and Machiavelli as fascinating as we did, don't forget to hit that like button. It lets us know you enjoy deep dives into the minds behind history and human behavior. And if you want more content that unpacks the dark, the brilliant, and the controversial, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because in the world of knowledge, power truly favors the informed. The Dark Triad, Machiavellianism, Narcissism, and Psychopathy reveals uncomfortable truths about the nature of power, ambition, and human behavior. While distinct, these traits often work in tandem, enabling individuals to manipulate, dominate, and control others with calculated precision or emotional detachment. NICCOLÒ Machiavelli, though not a psychologist, gave voice to the cold logic of power that still echoes in modern leadership and society. His name has become synonymous with strategic manipulation, but his writings also invite us to reflect critically on the cost of influence and the ethical boundaries we choose to observe or ignore. As we navigate a world increasingly shaped by ambition, image, and control, the Dark Triad challenges us to ask, where do we draw the line between strategy and cruelty, confidence and arrogance, leadership and exploitation?